before we get to the whole question part of the Twitter Spaces, we're going to be spending the next hour talking about uh, a bunch of things in the space of DeFi, a bunch of things in the space that we've actually dipped our feet into with the Shibadoge and Burn project. We're going to be answering a lot of questions. We're going to be giving a rough introduction to people who might be new, and we're actually going to dive a little bit into the NFTs as well. So let's get started from the basics. I'm sure a lot of you who are avid supporters have heard this over and over again, but for the people who are new, I'm going to go ahead and reintroduce it. So my name is Leo. I'm one of the devs of Shibadoge. We're a project that was born on December 24th, and we're growing tremendously quick. We're about 10 months old now, going into 11, and we just got listed on our 9th exchange. We managed to grow a community of 20,000 plus people in our Telegram. We managed to grow hundreds of thousands of people on our social medias, and we managed to put together a very solid team that is the frontiers of helping build Web3 in a sense. We think that we can add value in the space, and there are multiple different ways that we're going to attempt to revolutionize not just the Web3 space, but kind of create a new standard as well too. I know it's a very ambitious goal, and we're really trying to set the bar high. And I think we have a solid team and solid fundamentals to get that done. Shibadoge was a massive success, especially at its launch. We peaked at about $250+ million in market cap at our all-time highs when we were in the bull market. The growth rate was tremendous. It is continuously growing as we speak today. We're growing at a very rapid pace, even in the bear market, which is something that you really want to see in a project. And we were able to branch out an ecosystem, and we're continuously building on top of that ecosystem. So kind of to break it down, we have our NFTs, which are the Doge Army and the Shiba Army NFTs. We have the token projects, which are the Shibadoge project and the Burn project. And we're going to be introducing the Shibadoge NFTs, which will be a bread version, fused version of both of our collections in a sense. So I'm not going to really get into the entire details of what is to come on the Shibadoge NFTs just yet. We are going to have a separate AMA for that in the future. We already dove into it a little bit a few weeks back, and we were able to share some sneak peeks, and we were able to share a little bit of news on that. But that's a topic for a different day. Today, what we're doing is we're actually going to be spending a little bit of time right now and talking about some of the feats and some of the accomplishments that we've made as a project, from the best of times in the bull market to the worst of times in the bear market, and how it's affected the way that we look at Web3 as a whole. So obviously the bull market is great for everyone, right? Everyone has fun in a bull market, and the bear market is the opposite in a sense, right? Everyone is kind of trying to find the next best thing. Everyone is very uncertain about things that are going on, and they just feel lost in a sense, right? And I feel as if we were in a bull market for such a long time that a lot of people got comfortable, and they just didn't know how to prepare for the bear market. I, for one, am a very avid believer that the bear market is where strategic decisions are made and where a lot of wealth is made, because the decisions that you make in the bear market are the decisions that will set you up for the next bull run. And I've preached this many times. Never any financial advice. I'll never tell you to buy anything. I'll never tell you to sell anything. That's just not what this is all about. If you're looking for that, you've come to the wrong place. We're not going to touch on any subjects like that. What I can tell you, though, is to actually find yourself in a position where you can monetize your surroundings, right? And there's always a bright path in everything, as even when you feel like, oh, the markets are shaky, there's a lot of crazy stuff happening in the world. politics, whatever. As long as you can get your brain to work, you will be able to find a way to monetize it and make it benefit for yourself. So what we do in the Shibadoge community is we actually spread positivity, even when everyone is feeling that there's a lot of negativity happening in the world. We spread positivity, and we're able to kind of get people on a right track to be able to make those smarter decisions in their life and not let negativity kind of be the driving force. Excuse me. So, with that being said, we're very adamant on the whole positivity aspect of things, and we're very supportive of people who are building in our space. We found that this space is actually the best place to spread positivity in a sense, because everyone likes to work together in this space compared to other spaces like Web 2 and Web 1, where it's a lot of competition and people are just trying to beat other people and kind of, it's just rough. So we know that this space has a ton of potential. We know that this space has a ton of upside in a sense that it's so new and a lot of people are still learning about it. A lot of people are able to monetize it, and a lot of people are building in the space right now. So we know that the future is Web3, but the future starts now, and the future starts with starting to build. And the people who kind of made their exit, the projects that made their exit after when the bear market showed its face, those people were never in it to build. They were just in it for the quick, 5 minutes of fame or just to make the quick buck or whatever the case was. The difference between, people like that and people like us who actually have a vision, who actually want to build something and revolutionize the space is we don't care what state the market is in. Our goal, our vision, and our literally just our end goal is to continue building what our plan is. So we kind of laid out what we want to do. We know what we want to bring to the table, and we know that as things develop and as things progress, our ideas will also develop and progress, and new things will be brought to the table as well. So we're always looking at the market at Web3 with an open mind. And when something new is introduced, we don't bash it. We look into it. We analyze it. We reconstruct it. We see how it could benefit the space, or how it might just be a waste of time. You never know. But the thing is, it's kind of very important to be able to look at these types of projects and look at new things that are being brought into the space and use it as inspiration. And even for us, what we strive to do is bring new things to the table that other people can be inspired to do. And it's very important to us that we're able to inspire creators in the space, and we're able to inspire new people who are coming into the space, because let's face the fact that Web3 is not the safest place for new people. There are a lot of ways that you can get scammed. There are a lot of ways that you can get rug pulled. There are a lot of ways that you could just be, you could run into trouble on Web3 if you don't know what you're doing. So we're trying to build a hub, a safe hub where people can actually learn, gain knowledge, share the knowledge, and just have a cool place in the space of Web3 where they could grow and where they can actually make some friends and just learn more about the space. So with that being said, I'm going to get into some questions, because we did have a bunch of questions come in. So let me pull this up here. Excuse me for one moment. All right, so I'm just going to pick questions randomly using the Shibadoge AMA hashtag that people have asked throughout the last couple of days, and even that they're asking now. So bear with me. There are a lot of questions. I may not be able to answer every single question today. We are also choosing 10 questions that will be winners in a sense. And those 10 questions, we'll reach out to you guys via Twitter, and if you got chosen, we are going to reward you with $100 worth of ETH. So that's something to look out for as well. So here's question number one. This says, the Shibadoge NFT is unique with the burn card having liquidity other than the traditional marketplace listing. How do we drive acceptance of this new revolutionary idea, and what advantage does it have in respect to other kinds of NFT? So it's a great question, and for people who don't know what the burn card is, the burn card is a NFT that we have created for the Burn project. And what's so special about the burn card is I personally think it's the only NFT on the entire marketplace that has a baked in liquidity. What does that mean? What that means is every single other NFT that you can run into, in order for you to transact with that, somebody has to buy it, right? So if you buy an NFT and you want to sell it, there has to be somebody else to buy it. There isn't an actual baked in liquidity pool, right? The difference with the burn card NFTs is they always have a baked in liquidity because there's a utility in the burn card that can actually turn your burn card into burn tokens, which actually do have a liquidity pool, and that creates an instant value for them, right? So that's something that we were able to bring to the table, and I personally haven't seen an NFT that's able to do that other than the burn card. So that it is still a work in progress as far as mastering the idea of how to create NFTs with baked in liquidity, or revolutionize the idea further, to answer your question. But since it is such a new development, I can't really comment much on it because I haven't seen it anywhere else other than our NFTs. And I feel like we were able to very successfully bring it to life. So yeah, thank you for that question. And that was asked by Diane Berry. So let's go to the next question. This one says, my question is, the Shibadoge vision, 888 years, is a mind-blowing amount of time. What plans or strategy is the team deploying to keep this for so long despite the volatility in crypto? So, okay, that's a cool question. And the reason why I find it really cool is because part of the question makes a lot of sense, and the other half, it doesn't make sense. And I'm going to tell you why it doesn't make sense, because the vision doesn't have to do with a per se value or volatility. That does not matter. What the vision is actually building something that will outlast all of us, right? It will outlast myself. It will outlast Peter. It will outlast you guys. It will outlast literally everything. And the way to do that is actually very easily done through the blockchain, because blockchain is actually going to keep record from start to finish, no matter how long it is, whether it's 888 years or 8,888 years. Blockchain will be able to track everything. So the way that we want to actually take the steps in order to bring the 888-year vision to a reality, it literally started right on launch day. The first step was to actually bring Shibadoge to life. And I say it's very important because the journey of 1,000 steps begins with the first step, right? So if you haven't read the 888-year vision, it is an article that Peter wrote, and it is something that we're very proud of. You can go ahead and read it on our Medium page. I believe we have the link somewhere on our Twitter, maybe in our bio. But the 888-year vision is super important because what we're trying to accomplish with this project and this community that we're bringing to the table is we're trying to build such a positive space where we're not focused on market cap. We're not focused on competition. We're not focused on anything that can derail us and anything that could take our focus away from the true thing that we want to accomplish in the Shibadoge project, and that is building. And what do I mean by that? What I mean by that is we want to revolutionize the space in a way where, there are certain things in life where people create something that's so important and so groundbreaking that it's remembered for years on end after they die. And we think it's super important that people need to come back with that mindset, because I feel there are a very small percentage of people left in this world that have that mindset, and everyone wants to just, do things in a today or tomorrow style of doing things. But we want to think so far into the future, which would allow us to really, really challenge ourselves to uh, work as hard as we possibly could to make those things into a reality. So we've laid out a foundation of how we want to do that and how we're going to start by doing that. And, reading the 888-year vision is a great way to get some information. And that was actually asked by the same person who asked the first question. So 2 solid questions there. Here's another question. It says, there was a discussion a while back regarding an animated TV series for the Shiba and Doge Army NFTs. Is there any news on this? Great question. So there per se isn't any news specifically to that, but there is news that I could share with you guys regarding some animations that we're working on. So we know that we want to actually dip our fingers into the whole pot of media as well. And what I mean by that is we want to get involved with creating media and creating animated series and creating stories and creating things that people can, entertain themselves with for years to come. And right now what we're doing is we're working on bringing to life a series on YouTube that is an educational series. We actually released our first video, I believe, last week. And we were talking about the crypto punk NFTs and kind of educating people on that. So that's the first step into, our journey into the whole media side of things. So I'm very excited to see how the next few months will unfold, because we do have some cool plans that we're trying to introduce in the space with, videos that we can share on YouTube and our website, and, things that we can actually teach people and, share the knowledge, which is what we're all about. So that doesn't mean to say that the Shiba and Doge Army NFTs won't ever have their animated TV series. That's something that we actually really, really want to do. But I believe we're still a bit of a ways away from making that a reality, just because of the tremendous amount of work that it takes to actually get something like that done. Okay, let's go to the next question here. So this one says, do you think Shibadoge will make a significant increase as its anniversary date approaches? What explains why it went down at the end of July? So I'm not going to be talking about price prediction. I'm not going to be talking about anything that has to do with that, because if anyone claims to know, they're utterly just lying to you straight to your face. There is nobody that can predict the price of literally any crypto market in the space. And if they could tell you they can, it's complete lies. And if I knew, obviously, I'd be able to confidently come up and say, hey, I know, what the next 1 million X is, but that's not ever going to happen from me or from anyone else. Do I think we'll see an increase as its anniversary date approaches? Yes, I think we will see an increase, but what will we see an increase in? I think we will see an increase in the engagement. I think we will see an increase in the user growth, and I think we will see an increase in just a lot of people's intentions of how they want to approach the project, because as the 1 year anniversary approaches, we do want to do something big, and we do want to have some fun with the community, because surviving 1 year and thriving 1 year in the crypto market is no easy feat. When you put into perspective, there are hundreds of projects that launch every day, and 99 out of 100 of those don't even last 2 days. Us, approaching our 1 year anniversary is a huge feat for us, and that's something that we're looking forward to. So That's what I can answer as far as that question goes. All right, let's go to the next one. This one says, this might be a bit early, but do we know what the staking rewards and what the staking rewards will be for season 3 and how long the season will last? Thank you. So that's asked by one of our community members, Monster Magnet. Monster, I would love to dive into that a little bit more, but I don't want to prematurely say anything. But I can assure you guys that season 3 is going to be a blast, and season 3 is going to be different than season 2 and season 1. So because we will be introducing the Shibadoge NFTs in time for season 3, which is one of our goals. So stay tuned for more info on that. As far as length and as far as rewards, that's something that we'll talk about when we approach the end of season 2, more than likely. We'll start talking about what to expect for season 3. And for anybody that doesn't know what these seasons are, our NFTs provide staking seasons where every season is different, and you'd be able to lock up your NFT in a staking protocol, and you'd be able to gain ranks or tokens or whatever we decide to introduce in the future. But there is a nice game plan that we've put together on the way that we want to approach how staking will work. And it's something that our community is going to continue to love throughout the seasons, because we are going to make it something that is something that people can actually interact with, have fun, and kind of get a utility out of their NFTs, rather than it just being a picture on a screen. So thank you for that question, Monster. All right, let's see. This question says, Leo, your thoughts on Shibadoge's progress and growth during the bear market and any future collabs for the NFT collections would be good marketing, IMO. Yeah, I agree with that. I definitely agree that collabs with with different collections is something that would be great. That's something that we're actually putting a plan together to be able to introduce collaboration avenues, in a sense, because right now we could collaborate with people in the space, but we would need to be able to find a way where they could bring value to our group and we could bring value to their group. And there are some ways that can be done, but I feel I'm the type of person that feels that collaborations have to be very, very sincere and very strategic for them to actually work long term, and not just a short term thing. I wouldn't want to just make a collaboration just for a short term gain or a short term momentum boost, because in my opinion, it wouldn't be worth it for the longevity of the project. I'd want to make more strategic and sincere relationships with different collections that would actually be able to last much longer and benefit our communities, whether it's their side and our side, for the long run. So that's something we'll be looking into here in the near future. And hopefully with the Shibadoge NFTs coming out soon, we'll be able to introduce some avenues on how we're going to make that a reality. Let me go into the next question here. It says, I'm going to skip that question actually. This one says, sorry, I was just kind of skimming over it. Okay. It says, will we be able to stake our bread Shibadoge NFTs, or will there be some other utility attached to them? Season 2 of staking offers X, Y, and Z amount of rewards per season. Will the rewards stay the same in the coming seasons? That's kind of very similar to the question I just answered. So we're going to be holding off on answering that until season 2 is coming to an end, and we'll be able to share more of what to expect for season 3. So sorry about reading the same question twice, kind of, guys. This question says, which platform will it be added to in the future? So I'm assuming they're talking about exchanges or different platforms that can actually help grow the community. Right now, we're on a exchange spree, in a sense. Just in under a month, we were able to gain 3 more exchanges. We're totaling 9 exchanges now, and we're still hungry, right? We're still hungry. Our goal is to actually get on a lot more exchanges, and especially on tier one exchanges. So, we have a team working very hard in the background making that possible, and we're reaching out to different platforms um, very frequently and talking to people on the sidelines all the time. So, yeah, I'm pretty confident that as things progress and as the project matures, that we will be available much more broadly in the space of exchanges and different protocols that will support us. So, yeah, just the best way to stay updated with that is to follow us on Twitter and to check us out in our Telegram, where we make pretty frequent announcements. Okay, this question says, this is titled Everyone's Question. How does the project increase the token's value, liquidity, and utility so that it can lead to an increase in token prices? Okay, I'm just not even going to read the rest of this question, actually, because I literally said I don't want to talk about those types of questions. So sorry, my friend, I'm not going to answer that question just because I can't give you my prediction on prices. So that's something that you'd have to figure out on your own. This question says, is the Vitalik still available? How many Shiba NFTs left? So yeah, this is a great question. And before I get into it, I just want to let everyone know what the Vitalik even is. The Vitalik is a NFT in the Shiba Army collection that when it gets minted, the person who mints it is going to win a reward of $100,000 worth of Shibadoge tokens. And it still hasn't came out yet. I believe we're at just under 2,800 left, about 2,900, about 3,000, roughly 3,000 mints left before the collection is minted out. And it still hasn't came out. So it's literally in that last 30% pool where we're going to be able to find the Vitalik. So very soon we'll be able to kind of see who's going to win that. And that's something we're very excited about, because whoever mints that becomes a insta whale in a sense. I mean, $100,000 is life-changing money, and being able to win something like that just by minting an NFT is pretty insane. And I don't think there's any other project out there that's doing anything like that. Okay, let's see. The next question: what's the next plan like? Play to earn games like Shiba and Doge, animation fighting. So yeah, I love this question. Play to earn is something cool, and I think it's something that can have a future in our project. Is it something that we're currently working on? I can tell you that we're not, but that doesn't mean we haven't talked about different ways on how we can approach the play to earn genre. And when the time is right, and when we know that it can actually scale to something successful, we'll look more into the whole gaming aspect of Web3. Right now, that is not one of our strengths, and that's just something that we're going to have to do a little bit more market research on and kind of build a development team behind building a game. And in order to do that, it takes a lot of research and development, it takes a lot of money, and it takes a lot of effort to do it right. If we wanted to just throw something together that's kind of mediocre, yeah, I mean, we could do that in no time, but that's not what we ever want to do. What we do when we do things, we want to make sure to give it our 100%. And if it's not going to be a quality product, we just would never bring it to life. So I'm very excited of how the future play to earn will develop as well too, because it's still a super early concept, and I could see it growing every single day. So maybe it might still be too early to consider that for our project, but it's definitely a high possibility that we'll make some decisions into kind of bringing that to the project one day. All right, let's read another question. We've read something similar to that. Okay, this question says, almost every investor holds the token for short term without understanding the long term value. So how can you ensure for us that Shibadoge is more beneficial for long term? And what is your plan to increase the demand and scarcity of Shibadoge? Okay, so I'll answer this question in two different segments. So I for short term, anything can happen short term, right? If you don't really wait to see what the true potential of something is, I, you're never going to find out what the long term would have been. You know, you can always look back and say, "Hey, I missed out on this," or "I maybe I made a good decision and left that," or whatever the case is. But I personally, myself, I'm a long term person, and I always want to see the long term value of anything that I get myself into. So especially with the Shiba Doge project, it's so easy to kind of would love to hold it long term because of its tokenomics. The tokenomics are so important in the whole long term aspect of things because it uh, distributes 5% of the circulate the transactions that come in. 5% of the transactions that come in are distributed to the holders on chain. Most of our exchanges support that as well. I know maybe there are one or two exchanges that make it work a little bit differently, which is not a us thing; it's a them thing. So yeah, I mean, if you buy a Shiba Doge token, a bag of Shiba Doge, if you buy a Shiba Doge bag today, tomorrow you will have more Shiba Doge tokens. So your bag kind of keeps growing as time goes on, and long term, that's obviously something that's really good because your bag is continuously going to grow day after day, year after year, week after week, whatever. So that is, in my opinion, the best um, tokenomic that could be brought to a project of this magnitude because look, we are one of the biggest meme tokens in space right now. It's all about featuring the two biggest meme tokens that kind of gave birth to the genre, which is Dogecoin and which is Shiba Inu. And neither of those tokens offer this utility. And I just feel like the tokenomics are very important in the growth cycle of the project because number one, they help sustain the project. Number two, they help support funding for future development and marketing and all kinds of cool things that we want to bring to the table. And number three, it rewards the holders every single day by sharing the reflections with everyone, right? So that's why I think looking at things long term is definitely the way to go, especially knowing that we're working really hard to bring new things to the table and bring new avenues and bring new developments. So another thing is for people who don't want to get in and do the research on things that they're investing in or things that they're getting themselves into, and I can't really comment for you. I can comment for the people who are actually willing to do their own research and people who are actually willing to love what they own and get into something that they are comfortable holding and they are comfortable being a part of that community. For the people who are just in it, for the giggles and kind of to just flip or do this and that, I can't comment on your end because that's just not what we're looking for. What we're looking for is for intellectual people who are actually, on the same page as we are, can see the future of Web3 and are willing to help other people who are new coming into the space uh, by teaching them things that they've learned through their experiences with not just our community, but just Web3 in general. So it's very important for me to kind of emphasize on that because as time goes on and as the years go on, more and more people will be introduced to the space and more people will be comfortable dealing in the space. So, as those numbers grow, then a lot of things will grow with it, right? So that's just something that we should keep in our back pocket moving forward, knowing that we are still super early in the space of Web3 and there really, really is a small percentage of the population that actually is involved with Web3. And that's an understatement to say, like, hey, we have 20,000 holders on chain. That's a lot because considering how many people actually are in the space, there really is not that many yet. So, pretty proud of where we are right now. go with the next question here. It says, will the burn project, as we approach a bull market in the future, be seeing more action as far as being used to build relationships with other projects / burn tokens / burn their tokens? Yes, so that's something that I would love to comment on. So the burn project is literally hasn't even scratched the surface of what it's capable of. And with the introduction of the DAO that we're going to be bringing to the table, it isn't even out yet. The DAO for the burn project hasn't even been released yet. The reason why we held off on it is because the way that the markets got shaky and the way that the engagement kind of led for the space of DeFi, we just knew that it would be a shot in the dark to bring it prematurely. So what we did is we took a step back and we're like, hey, okay, how could we make it better? So we decided we don't want to rush it, and we decided that we can actually bring it out at a time where it would be most beneficial to everybody. And I personally think the Burn project is set for a very, very nice relationship with people in the space, especially the newer NFT projects, because we actually did a small burn for a project called Mongs NFT. And it was just a small Twitter poll that we had made on Twitter. And, you know, their community rated ours, and they were the winners. And we saw that those microcap NFTs really, really benefited a lot from what the Burn project was able to do for them. The Burn project was like, you know, just burned 1 ETH of their NFTs in circulation. So we kind of did a little bit of market research in a sense and figured that those microcap NFTs are useful in the space because they bring a crowd of people who are interested to learn what's going on, right? And it's kind of like riding on the hype that, you know, those microcaps build, because they do build short-term hype. But if you can introduce, you know, the people who are involved there into our ecosystem, then maybe they could learn a thing or two and stick around for the long run. I mean, we've seen people learn a lot in the space, and we've seen people take what they've learned and, you know, build an empire with it, or build different relationships, or to just advance themselves in the space. And that's something that we love to see. And yeah, I think we're definitely on the right track of how we're approaching this. So will we build more relationships with other projects using the Burn token? I truly believe we will, yes. We go into the next question here. Okay, this question says, hey, do you guys still have a plan to get Elon Musk's attention? So that's a funny question. So no, I don't have a plan per se to get his attention right now. I personally have a theory that he already knows about us and knows what we are, just because of our community and how strong the community was in rating him at one point. He had to have seen those tweets, and he had to have seen the tags and everything else that our community was throwing his way. But obviously there are reasons why he wouldn't comment on it, or whatever. It's just a theory that I'm having. Do I think Elon Musk seeing us is going to be the say all be all? No, I wouldn't really bank on that. What I would bank on is for us to continue to stick to the plan and stick to the vision and stick to building what we want to build and getting the job done. And that's what will be our bread and butter. I mean, getting a shout out from Elon would be amazing, would be cool, but that's like a 1% chance, if not less. Okay, next question says, will Shibadoge still be migrating onto the Polygon network? Great question. So the Polygon network is something that our engineers are experimenting with right now, and we have been able to see a lot of success of how things can progress on the Polygon network. So there is a big vision of how we can introduce cross-chain compatibility with different chains like Polygon, with ETH, and, you know, different blockchains as well. It is not my specialty per se, so that's more of a like a developer question. But I for sure can say that we are experimenting with how cross chain can benefit us and how we can actually bring new products to life cross chain and kind of introduce that to the community. So it's still pretty early to comment on it, but I can tell you that we have seen success and we have seen opportunity of how this would be cool and how it would work. So we're gonna keep working and seeing what we can do on that end. All right, next question says, partnerships are always an important factor for all projects. Who is your partner? What are the benefits you get from those relationships? So pretty much all of the exchanges that we work with are partnered with us. We're partnered with a bunch of different media companies as well to kind of push the narrative of what we do and what we are. But other than that, I mean, we really don't have too many other partnerships because we just believe that we're in a different part of the space than a lot of these other projects are in, and I don't want to say like, hey, let's go and partner with another project, only because I don't know what the full intentions of every project out there are just yet, and we're still a very new project ourselves. We're not even 1 year into the making of this, so we don't prematurely want to make partnerships either, because there is still a lot of value that we're leaving on the table by not letting our project mature and reach its full potential before jumping into a partnership. Because in order to jump into a partnership, you have to give something up, you have to give up, stake here or whatever the case is, or make a deal. And I feel like, it's still very early and premature to make those types of decisions, because I feel we can bring a lot more value and a lot more growth to the project before we have to actually make big decisions like that. So I definitely agree that partnerships are important, but I also would counter and say timing is much more important. I'll go ahead and read some more questions. This one says you should buy a new mic to stream and sound more professional. No disrespect, but a Blue Yeti is a microphone. So I definitely agree. If anybody has any pointers on how to kind of do these Twitter Spaces sound better, I have a very good mic. I just can't use it because Twitter Spaces only allows me to start the stream with my phone. So I'm literally using like AirPods right now. So sorry if I kind of sound a little off, but I would really want to use a quality mic. I just don't know how to get it to work with my iPhone. Okay, this question says, you devs are anonymous and contract was not given up to now. You're doing good and your community is the best. How will you carry the trust into the future? So great question. It's all about transparency and it's all about doing things publicly on chain so that people can actually with their own eyes see and confirm that everything is legit. And that's something that we are very proud of, and that's something that we strive very hard to maintain, is that transparency and the trust that we've built with the community. We only have good intentions. We only have those intentions to build in the space and actually grow a community and build a community. And in order to grow and create a healthy community, the people on top of managing the community have no choice but to be transparent. So the ways that we like continuously do that is we have weekly AMAs 2 times a week. We give updates. I create close bonds and friendships with the people in the community. I myself am a community member as well too. Even though I'm a part of the development team, I myself am in the same shoes as you guys are because I'm along for this ride and this journey as well. So it's just all about being real, man. It's all about being truthful to who you are in the space and making the right decisions for the people who actually believe in you and trust in you. So That's something that we take very close to heart, and we work very hard to maintain a good relationship and a good trust with our community. All right, this next question says, I remember the crazy marketing we did, sending Elon Musk to space. That put some eyes on us. Are there any other crazy marketing ideas cooking right now? Great question. And yeah, I mean, if you were around for the launch party when we actually sent a Shibadoge figurine, Elon Musk figurine to space, that was actually really, really cool. And we worked with a couple other projects in order to make that possible. But yeah, definitely got some eyes and a lot of attention. Uh, is there crazy marketing ideas like that? Right now, we do have a lot of crazy marketing ideas, but it's not per se having the ideas, it's all about the execution as well. And what we found is if we pump a lot of marketing money into the space right now, it is not going to be as effective as it would be in a bull market. So what we're using most of the funds towards is development and building stuff, like introducing the media company as well, bringing educational videos that people can actually watch and gain viewership from that. So it's more of educational shilling and sharing the knowledge rather than kind of just a little hype video or a hype marketing stunt or event, which those work great too, don't get me wrong, but it all ties back into what we were talking about, timing. And I think timing is super important. And doing things like that in a bull market are great. Doing things like that right now in a bear market, not so effective. So, we're shifting focus on spending those marketing dollars on building educational content and educational videos that people can actually, learn and benefit from rather than just like a, hype stunt. So that can change at any given time as well, too. We can make the most hypest marketing event as well. If the markets start picking up, we have a lot of ideas that we want to implement. It just, we don't want to make a wasted opportunity as well. Okay, let's see what the next question says. This one says, oh, I already read that one. Okay, this is a good one. This one says, I see the levels on the Shibadoge NFT collections. Looks interesting. Can you explain how the mechanism to increase the prestige is going to work? Thanks. So if you guys noticed on your NFTs, there is something called prestige, and that is something that we're going to introduce in one of the later seasons of how you can level your NFTs up, and that's going to include, things like side quests or things like um, just interactions on the website or shilling or uh, it, a lot of cool different things. I'm not going to spoil it right now, but there are a lot of in-depth things that we're actually working on bringing to the table with the NFTs, and being able to level up your NFTs are going to be something that people are really, really going to want to do. And obviously, with leveling up, it's going to change the rank of your NFT. It's going to change a lot of aspects of your NFT as well. So I can't really tell you exactly how it's going to work just yet, but I could tell you some of the ways, and like having quests and having cool little events that people participate in, and there are going to be things like that that would be part of leveling your NFTs up. But that's something for the later seasons, and that's something to keep your eye open for because it is going to be something really, really cool. Next question says, we are an experiment in decentralized, spontaneous community building. Beyond the number of holders, how do you perceive the success of this decentralization? So I'm an avid supporter of the whole decentralization thing, and I think it's super important to be decentralized. And uh, the more decentralized we can get, the better it will be for the future of blockchain and for the future of DeFi. So it's not about what we can do to make it better. It's about what the entire community of DeFi and Web3 and just blockchain technology can do to keep supporting that part of decentralization and keep building decentralized products and keep, pushing that whole decentralized aspect of things because, we don't want to be part of a system anymore. I mean, at least I don't want to be. I rather be in charge of my own finances and not have to worry about, locking my assets up in like a bank or something, for example. I rather have everything in a ledger and have it in my control rather than having an institution tell me what I can and can't do with my money, right? So I think decentralization is something that is going to be tested continuously through the years as it's been tested in the past. And the more people see how these banking institutions are kind of controlling the narrative, the more they're going to want decentralization. So it's a joint effort from everybody in the space to continue pushing the narrative that decentralization is something that pretty much everything that started in blockchain was built for. And if we lose sight of that, then I feel like the space would fail if we lose decentralization. So there are a lot of avid people who continuously support and fight for that. And I'm one of those people. I really love the whole fact about being decentralized, and we really strive to be a decentralized product and a project as well. Sorry, I'm just skimming over some of the questions here. Okay, this one says, is your project available to individuals all over the world, or is it restricted to a certain region? Are you guys planning to make it available internationally? So yeah, I believe we are available internationally. I don't know if there's any country that has like Uniswap or MetaMask blocked out of their APIs or their browser system. So, I mean, if you look at our analytics on our website and our just whatever analytics we could find, we get pings from all around the world, people visiting our website from all around the world, and I believe we are international already. Okay, this one says, what problems do you see occurring in the blockchain industry nowadays, and how does your project aim to solve these problems? So, our project doesn't really aim to solve much problems in the space right now. What we aim to do is build new things that haven't been introduced to the space just yet and kind of revolutionize the space. Obviously, if we run into an issue that we know we can solve, that would help the project, we will 100% do that. But personally, what I think the blockchain industry is struggling with right now is it's struggling with people who actually have a good heart and vision to build in the space. And a lot of people are doing building or bringing projects to life. Actually, they're bringing projects to life with the wrong intentions, and that's just the biggest problem that I could see happening in the space of blockchain right now. Is people are trying to monetize it for all the wrong reasons, but then there's that small group of people who are doing it for the right reasons and building revolutionary products and just really, really amazing tools that are being born in the space. So it's just kind of about getting the bad apples out and leaving the good apples in. And as long as the good thing is the bad apples get themselves out, they're in and out pretty quickly. They really don't last too long. And the people who are working and keeping their heads tight on their shoulders, those are the people who we will be hearing about in the coming years and in the coming future. So, yeah. All right, guys, I'm gonna answer a couple more, and then we'll cut this AMA kind of short. We're about approaching an hour now, so here's another question. Okay, that has to do with Polygon again. We already answered that, so I'll skip to a different one. Okay, this question is a good one. It says, what are the inspiration behind the name? What is the inspiration behind the name Shibadoge? Why not Doge Shiba or probably something random? So, well, obviously the inspiration behind the name Shibadoge is because myself and the rest of the team, we are whales in both Shiba and Doge. So we knew that we wanted to use both of those as an inspiration to our project. And when we initially brought the project to life, one of our biggest main goals was to penetrate the Doge and Shiba communities. And that's how the name Shibadoge was brought to life and born, because of what we loved. And we loved both of those projects. And we were avid supporters, and we still currently are avid supporters of both of those projects. So it could have been Doge Shiba too, if you think about it, but Shibadoge just sounds a lot better. So yeah, that's to answer your question. This one says, hey, Leo, I was wondering how things were coming along with Shibadoge. Also, I was wondering when we could expect new crypto pairs to be established for trade. Glad to hear from you. So right now we're paired up with Ethereum, obviously, and I don't know if we'll make new pairs on Uniswap anytime soon, but we are paired up with different currencies on exchanges. Like we are paired up with USDT and USDC and some other exchanges and some other token pairs as well too. So we know that we want to continuously keep building on the ETH network for now. So for the time being, we're going to be paired for ETH, and we know that ETH has the biggest potential out of some of its competitors, and we just love everything about the Ethereum network. Even though we know that the gas prices are higher than a lot of other networks, it's just the price of doing business on ETH. That's the only thing. So for now, we're just going to be paired with ETH. All right, some people want to speak, so I'm going to actually allow you guys to come up here. So raise your hand if you have a question, and I'll go ahead and allow you to unmute your mic. So Wisco to Florida, will add you as a speaker. What's up, Wisco? Hey, you can unmute yourself.
Hey Leo, this is Rojo.
Hey Rojo, what's up, man?
Hey, not much. I just wanted to comment on one of the questions about marketing stuff. This project did pass that first DAO proposal and wrapped a car down here and traveling, 100 miles a day and marketing.
Yep, looks like we might have lost you, Rojo. Yep, we must have lost them. Crypto Cat, if you're here, you can unmute yourself.
Hey, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm fine. I think you answered my question, right?
Okay, no problem. Hope you have a great day.
I mentioned that there is any play to earn game like Shiba and Doge.
Oh, okay, that was your question. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's something we'll be looking into, my friend.
They Shiba and Doge, they are fighting, and who will win? They will earn Shiba and Doge coins.
Hey guys, my name is Jimmy the Otter. It's good to be speaking now. I've been waiting a little while to get up here. But you know what? I'm all in on Shiba Doge. Shiba Doge is the future. You know, I've been part of the Shiba Doge community for a long time. Been fighting this fight in the trenches. A lot of dead crypto projects to my left, to my right. And I can feel like we're getting on the rocket ship, you know? And on this rocket ship, I can hear the birds go, caw, 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 caw. And you know what? We're going to go and blast ourselves over to the moon. But I guess there's some serious questions that we need to ask ourselves, right? Why is Shiba Doge going to change the world for the better? Well, let me give you some reasons. Reason number one, I'm a believing Christian, okay? I embraced Jesus Christ and was reborn again. And let me just tell you, in the book of Revelations, chapter 3, when Sodom went to Abel and crossed the Euphrates River, we all knew Jesus Christ was going to have some Shiba Doge in his pocket and talk to God. God, why? Why do we need to redeem us?
All right, Jimmy. All right, man. Thank you.
Yes, so
I
that
love
was an
I love the
example.
optimism, man. Yeah, I
Sure.
love the optimism,
Well,
bro.
there's some
Thank you for
other
being a
reasons
solid
why.
supporter.
There's some other
Yeah, no,
reasons
there's
why.
definitely some great reasons. I appreciate you coming up and sharing your thoughts and experiences, Jimmy.
Can I
And
talk a little bit
we
more about
definitely
my reborn experiences, please?
maybe next time. We're running a little bit short on time, but maybe next time. Looks like maybe we can do a whole segment with you or something. So yeah, feel free to reach out to me. But thanks for the support, dude.
Well, I'm actually a church minister, and I'm making Shiba Doge the official currency of my church.
Nice, thank you, appreciate that. Um, but yeah, I'm sure we'll be hearing from you again very soon. So thank you for coming up.
I would.
If anybody else has anything to say before we wrap this up, feel free to raise your hand, and I'll go ahead and bring you guys up. I
And,
guess
and,
that was
and,
pretty
and
funny. Yeah,
but Leo, do you hear me now?
yeah. Now we hear you. Yeah, we hear you now.
Okay, gotcha. So I don't know what y'all heard or not, but for that marketing and the what we're doing, obviously we got the first DAO proposal passed and wrapped my Jeep for a lot of advertising in the communities. Driving 100 miles plus a day, turning a lot of heads, conversing with a lot of people about DeFi and Shiba Doge. But I just want to drop this bullish news for our community. I did tell them on Telegram I would get on tonight and try to get on and tell y'all that Shiba Doge is going to be in the Christmas parade in 2 cities in the same county this year, December 3rd and December 10th.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I love to see. So, Rojo, I mean, for anybody who doesn't know, Rojo was one of our DAO proposals that got passed. He was actually the first DAO proposal that got passed. And his proposal was to wrap his Jeep in a extravagant Shiba Doge vinyl. And Rojo does a lot of driving on a daily basis. So the amount of feedback he's been getting on the roads is pretty incredible. Definitely spreads a lot of awareness and kind of brand awareness being spread a lot too, in a sense. So, yeah, I mean, these are cool little things that the community does out of their own good and out of their own, not out of their own pocket. We actually funded this through the DAO. So that's the actual important thing of the DAO as well is if you have an idea and if the community backs your idea, we will fund that idea. So there haven't been too many successful DAO proposals yet, but the DAO is very new as well. So I expect to see a lot more in the future, but Rojo was the first one. And Rojo, do you remember how much your DAO proposal was able to fund?
I requested 3 ETH, and devs, you guys definitely sent it to my wallet. Was able to pay for the wrap. So everyone asked, how much did you pay for that? I said I didn't pay a dime. The developers paid for it because they believe in this project just as much as I do, and I've been in since the end of January, and it's diamond hand in, diamond heart. So I took it upon myself to apply at the Chamber of Commerce for the parade, and the application was accepted. So Shibadoge is going to show the whole county what we got.
That's right. That's right, guys. And I mean, the thing is, it's like seeing cool things like this develop in a community that was started less than a year ago. It really warms my heart, because it is not even the tip of the iceberg of where we're headed in the future. I'm looking like a year, I'm looking 2 years into the future, and we're going to be a, a force to be reckoned with the amount of people that are going to be on the team, right? Because at the rate that we're growing our community, a year from now, 2 years from now, we're going to have a legit army of people who are supporters and who actually are uh, on the same page as everybody else in the community. And that page that the narrative that we're trying to push is build on Web3, share the knowledge, and be able to help other people succeed. If you're succeeding and the 3 other people around you are not, then you shouldn't be feeling like you're seeing success. The times where you should feel like you're seeing success is when everyone around you is successful, and that's what we're trying to bring to the table, is a platform where positivity can be shared and positivity can be manifested and success can be brought to the table for everybody involved. So that is a long-term vision, a long-term goal, and a long-term standard that we're trying to maintain and keep for very, very close to our hearts, because once we lose sight of that, then everything falls apart. So that is our number one goal. That is our number one thing that we strive to achieve, is the positivity and the unity that we're pushing. And as long as we could keep that, we're being in a good spot. So yeah, I mean, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and
Hey, Leo.
Go ahead, Ro.
Hey, because I drop my son off at school all the time, and I asked him today. I said, "What do the kids think about the car?" And he's actually sitting next to me right now, getting back from soccer practice. So, what did one of the kids in school say?
So I was pulling up in school, and one of the kids saying, "Oh, you drive the crazy dog car."
Yeah, it definitely stands out. You see, people are noticing it. So it's definitely not your everyday normal occurrence to see a Jeep wrapped in Shibas and Doges, right? So definitely stands out.
So I tell him, I said, if anybody asks, just say cryptocurrency NFT, because they're all in 3rd, 4th, 5th grade.
And I don't want.
All right, guys.
All right.
Hey, we're gonna go ahead and wrap the spaces up. Yep, thank you.
Yeah.
We're gonna go ahead and wrap the spaces up, guys. So I'm going to spend the next few hours going over some of the questions that were asked in the tweets, and if you are a winner over this weekend, I will send you a DM on Twitter. It will only come from our official Twitter account. So if you get any other DMs, or if you get anything saying that you're a winner and it did not come from this official Shibadoge account, then it is a scam. So don't entertain it whatsoever. I will reach out to you guys by the end of this weekend if you're a winner. So look out for that. And yeah, I just want to thank you guys for tuning in. We're going to be doing this every Thursday moving forward. This is the first one that we've done in a very long time. So they will get better and they will progress over time. We will bring more people up on stage next time around, and we will actually make this much more interactive too moving forward. Thank you guys for all the support. Thank you guys for spending your time here. And as always, if you miss Doge, that sucks. If you miss Shiba, that also sucks. If you miss Shibadoge, then unfortunately, you suck. And with that said, I love you all. Thank you guys. Peace out.